Hello friends, today I'll discuss about kingdom Animalia, which is composed of all animals and is the largest kingdom among all five kingdoms. Animals are basically multicellular, eukaryotes, mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. This kingdom Animalia has been further classified into 10 different subphyla based on their body design or differentiation. In this video, I'll discuss phylum Porifera with you. So let's get started. Before going into the topic, I'll tell you a simple trick to learn the characteristics of these phylums. Children, see these pictures carefully and just keep any one picture of that particular phylum in your mind. This way, when you'll think of the picture, immediately the characteristics will also come to your mind. As you all know, visual learning is faster as 90% of information transmitted to brain is visual. So try to learn through visuals rather than plain text. Now coming to phylum Porifera, example of phylum Porifera is Spongilla and Cycon. Look at these pictures carefully as most of the characteristics will be clear from these pictures only. As the name suggests, Porifera are organisms with pores on their body. As you can see in the picture, they have aquatic habitat and mostly marine, that is, they live in salt water. Second most obvious thing as you can see from the picture is outer body is hard, and as they are fixed to the substratum, so they cannot move. That means non-motile. Body has minimum differentiation, that means tissue is not differentiated to form organ. So Porifera has no organs. Sponges pump large amount of water through their bodies to obtain food. Let's see a video to understand this point.
While an ocean sponge looks something like a weird plant, it's actually an animal. In fact, sponges are among the simplest multicellular animals on Earth. They live on the bottom of the ocean, attached to a surface and never moving because they can't walk or swim. Some are quite colorful, while others are drab. They also come in all shapes and sizes. There are tube sponges, vase sponges, barrel sponges, rope sponges, encrusting sponges, and many other types. Sponges live from the frigid waters of the Arctic and Antarctic to the tropics. On many coral reefs, sponges dominate the seafloor and the drop-off. Sponges are very effective filter feeders since they're able to capture and eat particles as small as bacteria as well as larger particles. They might not look like they're doing much, but a simple demonstration shows how effectively sponges can pump water. On a reef in the Caribbean, I make a dive with a syringe filled with a non-toxic dye called fluorescein. By squirting it around the base of some sponges, we can observe how the water is moving by watching what the dye does. Within only seconds, the dye is pumped through the sponges along with the water. As you can see, a sponge is a pretty good water pump and also a good strainer. Any plankton that goes in with the water won't come back out through the osculum. Tube sponges are even more spectacular to observe. They pump the dye so furiously that they look like a collection of miniature smokestacks. The ultimate test is a hefty barrel sponge. What will a big monster like this do? It takes a few seconds for the dye to work its way through the sponge. Wait for it. But then it pours out like smoke from a chimney. That's pretty good pumping from those tiny little collar cells.
The characteristics for phylum Porifera are organism with pores on their body, non-motile, aquatic, mostly marine, also called sponges, have hard outer covering, minimum differentiation. Pores creates a canal system which helps in circulating water along with food and oxygen. Example of this phylum are Spongula and Cycon. So children, in exam if it comes, what are the characteristics of phylum Porifera? Remember this picture and remember these characteristics. They are aquatic, non-motile, outer hard covering, have pores on their body and canal system circulate food, water and oxygen. An example, Cycon and Spongula. In my next video, I'll discuss phylum Coelenterata. Take care.